Google just shipped a new default Flash model. And if you're already building on Gemini for anything real, what you do in the next 12 minutes decides whether you're getting meaningfully better output tonight or leaving performance on the table for weeks. As of this week, Gemini 3.6 Flash is live, positioned as the direct successor to 3.5 Flash, and it landed alongside two other models in the same release window. Everyone's talking about the launch. Almost nobody's talking about the part that actually determines whether you notice a difference: how you prompt it. So I went through Google's own release material and the actual behavior differences between the two model generations, not the recap videos. And the twist is this: the benchmark gap between 3.6 Flash and 3.5 Flash is real, but modest. The gap between someone who knows how to prompt this specific model and someone who doesn't is bigger than the model upgrade itself. This video does two things back to back, honestly. First, the actual claim versus evidence comparison of 3.6 Flash against 3.5 Flash, what Google says improved, what's independently verified, and what's still just a claim. Second, and this is the part most launch day coverage skipped entirely, a real prompting guide for getting the most out of this specific model, built around what's actually changed under the hood rather than generic write clearer prompts advice you could apply to anything. Let's start with what actually shipped, because you can't prompt around a capability gap you don't understand. The upgrade, stripped of launch day noise. Gemini 3.6 Flash replaces 3.5 Flash as Google's mainline fast tier model, the one most people reaching for, the cheap, fast Gemini, are going to end up using by default. It shipped in the same release window as 3.5 Flash Lite and a restricted government-only model called Flash Cyber, but those two aren't what this video is about. This is about the one model in that lineup you're actually going to sit down and type prompts into today. Google's own materials point to two specific areas of improvement over 3.5 Flash: coding performance and agentic task handling. Early hands-on coverage from creators who got access first is describing the coding jump as the more noticeable of the two. Cleaner multi-file edits, fewer broken function calls, less babysitting required when a task runs long. That's the claim. Hold on to it, because the next section is where we separate what Google is asserting from what's actually been verified. And that distinction matters more here than it usually does, because it directly shapes how you should be prompting this thing.
Benchmarks versus 3.5 Flash. What's confirmed and what's still a claim. Here's the fairness pivot this section needs, stated plainly up front. Most of the coding and agentic numbers attached to 3.6 Flash come from Google's own DeepMind model page, using Google's own benchmark suite. That's grading its own homework. It's not automatically wrong, but it's worth knowing which numbers are Google's and which ones came from somewhere else, because both exist now, and they don't tell quite the same story. Google's own figures are genuinely specific, not vague marketing language. On DeepSWE, their coding benchmark, 3.6 Flash scores 49% against 3.5 Flash's 37%, a 12-point jump. On OSWorld-Verified, the computer use benchmark, it's 83% versus 78.4%. On GDPval-AA, Google's knowledge work benchmark, the score climbs from 1349 to 1421. And on token efficiency specifically, Google says the model uses 17% fewer output tokens than 3.5 Flash to get there, which, if it holds up on your own workload, is the number that actually shows up on your bill. Here's the part that didn't exist when I first drafted this. Artificial analysis, the closest thing this space has to a neutral referee, has now published its own independent score. And it's the twist nobody put in a headline. On the Artificial Analysis Intelligence Index, their broad aggregated measure across many task types, not Google's hand-picked benchmark suite, 3.6 Flash landed at 50, which is near enough exactly where 3.5 Flash already sat. Same score. No independently measured intelligence gain at all. That's not a contradiction, so much as two different rulers measuring two different things. Google's benchmarks are narrow and task-specific: coding, computer use, document work. And on those, the gains are real and reproducible if you go run them yourself. Artificial analysis is measuring something broader and more general. So the honest read isn't Google lied. It's that 3.6 Flash appears to be a genuinely sharper tool for the specific jobs Google optimized it for, without that translating into a broader intelligence gain when you zoom out. That's a meaningfully different claim than better across the board, and it's exactly the kind of distinction that gets flattened in a launch day recap. What is fully verifiable is the positioning. 3.6 Flash stayed in the same fast, cheap tier 3.5 Flash occupied, mostly. Input pricing is unchanged at $1.50 per million tokens. Output dropped from $9 to $7.50 per million. A real cut, but an output-only one. So if your workload leans input heavy, don't expect the sticker price to move much. Google didn't creep this upmarket into flagship pricing or flagship latency. That's a straight swap, not a repositioning, narrow targeted gains, at the same price tier or slightly cheaper, with the aggregate intelligence score holding flat. Which brings us back to the word that matters: targeted. Better at coding and agentic tasks, flat on general intelligence is not the same instruction as better at everything automatically, no matter how you talk to it. A model that's genuinely sharper at multi-step tool use and long context coding behaves differently under the hood than its predecessor on exactly those tasks, and identical on everything else. If you're still prompting it exactly the way you prompted 3.5 Flash, you're leaving the real, narrow gains on the table while expecting a broad gain that the independent data says isn't there. Closing that gap is exactly what the rest of this video is built to do.
The real story: why the prompting gap is bigger than the model gap. This is the part nobody covering the launch spent real time on, and it's the actual reason this video exists. A benchmark improvement in coding and agentic performance isn't a blanket capability boost. It's a change in how the model handles specific kinds of structured, multi-step tasks. If your prompting habits were built around 3.5 Flash's behavior, you're not automatically capturing that improvement just by swapping the model name in your API call. You have to prompt for the thing that actually got better. To be clear, that doesn't mean 3.6 Flash is somehow worse, or that Google oversold it. It means the model and the technique have to move together. And right now, almost all the public attention went to the model, not the technique. That imbalance is the opportunity. Everyone chasing this launch is comparing benchmark charts. Almost nobody's telling you how to actually extract the coding and agentic gains Google claims to have built in. That's the next section. And it's the one that actually changes what you get out of this model starting today.
How to actually prompt Gemini 3.6 Flash for better results. Let's stop talking about this in the abstract and actually look at prompts, because that's the part every other video skipped. 3.6 Flash was built and benchmarked specifically for coding and agentic work. So that's exactly where I'm going to show you real prompts you can type straight into the Gemini app. Not generic assistant tasks. The actual jobs this model was designed for. Start with the agentic side, because that's where the biggest gap between old habit prompting and new prompting shows up. Here's the old way, the way most people are still typing into 3.6 Flash right now. Build me a script that tracks price drops and emails me. One shot, no structure, no checkpoints. The model has to guess your whole intent in a single pass. And you get one big response back that you have to untangle yourself if something's off. Here's the same request, restructured to actually use the multi-step handling 3.6 Flash was benchmarked on. Build this in 3 stages and check in with me after each one before continuing. Stage 1, plan the approach. Stage 2, write the core logic. Stage 3, add email alerts and error handling. Same task, completely different result, because now you're asking for the thing the benchmarks actually measured. Sustained, checkable, multi-step work. Instead of a one-shot guess you have to hope lands right. Second, giving it real context instead of a fragment. This is where 3.5 Flash's babysitting problem showed up the most, and it's the easiest habit to fix. Here's the vague version. My login function isn't working. Can you fix it? No context, no idea what's actually broken, no boundaries on what to leave alone. Compare that to a version that gives the model something to work with. Here's my login function and the hashing function it depends on. It's letting wrong passwords through. Fix only the comparison logic. Don't touch how passwords are hashed or stored, since other parts of the app depend on that staying the same. That second prompt is doing exactly what the benchmark gains imply you should do, handing over the surrounding code and telling the model specifically what to touch and what not to. That's the difference between actually testing whether 3.6 Flash got better at real debugging and just testing whether it can read your mind from one line. Third, build a check your work step directly into the prompt, instead of trusting the model to self-check on its own initiative. When you're done, list exactly what you changed and flag anything you're not fully confident is correct. Tack that onto any multi-step coding or agentic prompt and you get a built-in paper trail, which matters because even a genuinely improved model still gets things wrong sometimes. And this is how you catch it before it's sitting in your codebase instead of in a review. Fourth, and this is the one that keeps people from overcorrecting. Don't drag this structure into tasks outside what 3.6 Flash was actually built for. If you're using it for something simple and non-technical, this is still the right prompt. No staging required. Summarize this article in 3 sentences. No multi-stage breakdown, no confirm before continuing, because the benchmarked gains are concentrated in coding and agentic work specifically, and the independent intelligence score came back flat against 3.5 Flash on general tasks. Wrapping a simple ask in all that extra structure doesn't unlock a gain that was never built for that kind of task. It just slows you down for nothing. 4 prompts, 4 real coding and agentic situations, 1 underlying idea. The benchmark gap only shows up when your prompt actually asks for the thing that got measured. Try any of these yourself on your own project. That's the fastest way to find out whether Google's claims hold up on your workload, not just theirs. Who should actually test this today? If you're already running production workloads on 3.5 Flash, testing 3.6 Flash this week is low risk and worth doing. Same cost bracket, same tier, a straightforward swap with no pricing penalty for trying it. Run your existing coding or agentic tasks through both models side by side before fully committing, using the multi-step, context-rich prompting approach from the last section. So you're actually testing the claimed improvement rather than testing whether the old prompting style happens to still work. If your use case is mostly conversational or doesn't touch coding or multi-step tool use, there's less urgency here. The claimed gains don't obviously apply to your workload, and waiting for an independent artificial analysis benchmark before deciding whether this is worth switching your default model over is a reasonable, unhurried call. And if you're an everyday user, rather than someone building on the API directly, this release doesn't change much about your day-to-day experience yet. The model swap happens mostly behind the scenes, and the prompting techniques in this video matter most to people writing their own prompts and pipelines, not casual chat users. What nobody's putting in the thumbnail.
Let's be straight about the limits here.
The model swap itself is confirmed and real. Gemini 3.6 Flash is live, replacing 3.5 Flash as Google's mainline fast-tier model. The specific coding and agentic improvements are currently Google's claim, plus early creator hands-on impressions, not an independent artificial analysis score. That verification doesn't exist yet as of this week, and it's genuinely possible the gap narrows, widens, or shifts entirely once someone outside Google runs a neutral suite against it. The prompting techniques in this video are built on the logical implications of Google's own stated improvements, not on a leaked internal prompting guide. They're a reasoned approach to testing and extracting a claimed capability, not a guaranteed formula, and your results will vary by task. And because this shipped alongside 2 other models in the same release window, there's real risk of details getting blurred across 3.6 Flash, 3.5 Flash Lite, and Flash Cyber in the wider coverage this week. Keep those 3 straight, because they're built for genuinely different jobs, and the prompting approach that works for one doesn't necessarily transfer to the others. The verdict.
So technically, yes. This is a real, coherent upgrade.
Google moved its mainline fast-tier model forward, kept it in the same cost bracket, and pointed at 2 specific, plausible areas of improvement rather than making a vague, everything's better claim. That specificity is actually a point in its favor. Narrow, falsifiable claims are easier to trust than broad ones, even before independent verification lands.
Strategically, the honest read is that most people watching this
haven't changed how they prompt since 3.5 Flash, which means most people aren't actually capturing whatever improvement is real here. The model closed part of the capability gap. Almost nobody closed the prompting gap that determines whether you can feel it. That's the actual story this week. Not which model Google shipped, but whether you're using it in a way that could even notice the difference. If you want the next piece of this puzzle, the follow-up video is going deep on Flash Cyber, the restricted, government-only model that shipped in this same release, and that almost nobody outside its approved user base will ever get to test directly. Subscribe so you don't miss that one.
And drop a comment telling me whether you've actually run 3.6 Flash against 3.5 Flash on your own workload yet. I want to know if what you're seeing lines up with Google's claim, or whether the gap looks smaller in practice than it does on paper.